Have you ever wondered on how you can create that killer case study? Have you ever wondered on how you can build your portfolio? Well, I am here to give you some tips on how I got my first 6-figure paying jobs with just one case study. Hello guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mano and I am a product designer. If this is your first time on this space, welcome. I do love you. And if this is not your first time on this space, welcome. Thank you very much. You are the true MVP and I really appreciate everything you're doing for me. Alright, let's get started. So what's a case study? A case study, simply put, is the concept, is your actual concept behind your final design or behind your final project. So if you have a UI design, if you've successfully created a UI design, a case study is the ideas, the thought process you used in achieving this design. So what was your design process like? What was your user research process like? What did you put into consideration when creating this UI design? That's your case study. So a case study helps your stakeholder, a case study helps your hiring manager, helps your employee know the idea behind your design. So it's very good if you work in a collaboration, if you worked as a team, to also add that in your case study, just telling the hiring manager that, oh, I have worked as a team and this was the role I played in my team and this was the outcome of the role I played as a team. So as newbies, as startups, we may not have the opportunity to work in a team or have the opportunity to work in collaborations. So it's very good to state that you were responsible for the UX design, you were responsible for the UI design, you were responsible for the motion design, NB, just basically stating out the process that you took in achieving this and the roles that you played in achieving. So what the typical case study entails? A typical case study entails your overview, your problem statements, your solution, the goal, the users and the audience you're trying to create this solution for, your design process, and the role you played in this entire process. Alright, so I'll be taking you through my first case study just to walk you through what I created and the process I used in creating my case study. Alright, so for my first case study, I created a mock application called Find My Blood. What's a mock application? A mock application is basically an application that does not go live. It's basically an application that does not get built. So you're just basically creating this application just for the purpose of having a case study or basically working on a project. So my project was called Find My Blood. It's a healthcare solution that allows users find blood easily and get to donate blood easily. Alright, so for this case study, I would advise and I always say that it's very proper for you to have like a header section. So your header section, so this is a header section, so your header section should comprise of little visuals of the product, and then maybe your problem statement, or probably what your solution is solving. So what does your application or what does your product solve? What problem is that product solving? So it could have those pictures, and then probably your solution, what your product is solving. And then after that, you would have a project overview. So this is not basically a proper standard, so this may not be your go-to standard, but this was the standard that helped me gain my first job. All right, so you could have then next you have I had a project overview, and in my project overview I decided to have descriptions, my problems and my role, and basically an illustration. The hiring manager is coming to my case study. The hiring manager from my illustration will know that this is a healthcare solution, and then I went further to look for illustrations that had a blood effect inside, since the solution was about blood. So for my description, I talked about what Find My Blood was. My problem was the problem I was trying to solve. So what has been the issue of locating blood in Nigeria? And then I explained my rules. So for my rule, I created I did the research, I did the user persona, I did the user flow, the wireframe, and then that should have been UI design, not UI UX design. All right, and then after that I moved on to the challenge and also the goal. So I stated my challenge and I stated my goal. So what goal was I trying to achieve with my UI design? I had to state my project duration, just to tell the hiring manager how many weeks I was able to work on this project to achieve my results. After that, I moved on to my design process. And for this section, I decided to explain what a design process was, or what my design process was, and how that design process has helped me, because I felt like maybe some hiring managers may not really know what a design process was or what it really entails. So I felt like they need to help them understand what my design process was and what my design process helped me in achieving. So I just created nice visuals for them to understand. All right, so even going back, I decided to also use red as the main primary color for this, because it's a healthcare solution, and this healthcare solution is related to blood. So I wanted them to be able to have the feel of the healthcare solution and also have the feel of blood. So like I said earlier, creating an experience for your hiring manager, creating an experience for your stakeholders, for your users coming to see your case study, color is very good in creating that experience. Also, illustration helps in creating that experience for your users. All right, so next I went to my user research and I explained what my user research helped me in gaining. That's why I explained what my user research helped me in, and what solution this helped me in solving for my design. So how the user research was helpful in me analyzing what my users want and analyzing their pain points, their needs, and their behavior. Then I went forward in creating a user persona. So the thing about user personas is that I don't feel it's truly important. So if I have known what I know now, I may not have added a user persona. So I don't think it's really important in your design process in creating a case study, because user personas are mostly and most times an afterthought. So this was an afterthought design. So just being very honest with you guys. So this was an afterthought design. So I created this user persona when I had finished my designs and even finished my case study. I added this user persona. So for me, I don't think user personas are quite important in your case study. So it's something that you may choose to miss and you would still be fine, because this do not really give you a focus on the problem you're trying to solve, and this does not make you understand your users properly. This is just something that someone developed and we started using this user persona. And see, you can avoid user persona and you'll be fine. All right, then I went forward to create an empathy map, which I don't feel it's that necessary, but it just helps you understand your user better, to know what they think, what they feel, and what they say and what they do. Again, this is not like a detailed process on what you need to do, but this is what I did, and this is what helped me in getting my first job. So you may decide to follow this process, or you may decide to have your own in general, but I'm just giving you what works, like colors, illustration, and basically what works in you getting your first job with your case study, or when you're creating a case study, what you need to look out for. Also then after the empathy map, I went forward to creating a user flow. So looking at my user flow right now, I feel that this does not work. And then looking at the contrast, I feel like if this was to undergo a check, this would fail, because these two colors does not work. But anyways, I try to explain what a user flow is, just in case my hiring manager does not really know what a user flow was, or maybe I just basically just try to simplify what a user flow was, and then giving them an explanation on how this user flow helped me in achieving my solution. All right, then I went forward in create a wireframe. So I created the lo-fi and the hi-fi in the same page. So for wireframes, it would be very nice if you created a wireframe and then you tested your wireframe. Like if you've created a low file, you can test that low file to see if that solution will work before creating your hi-fi. And then if you do that process, or if you create a low file before going to your hi-fi and you have that process, I would advise you add that to your case study. So this will just help your hiring manager know that, oh, you test your product before putting out a live project. That means you have the user at the back of your mind, so you really want to know what's happening with your user, and you really want to know what works best for your user. So if you tested your wireframes, I would advise that you add that to your case study
just to help your user understand your thought process better. Also, I decided to add a style guide just because again, this style guide may not be important in your design, but because I felt like, okay, so if a fellow designer is looking at my case study and wants to know what typeface I used and what colors I used, it would be nice for him to just see my colors without having to ask me what typeface or colors I used for my design. So I added the style guide there. So again, this style guide may not be necessary in your case study, but it's good to have your style guide there just to show how you chose your colors and how and what you played around with your typeface and your typography, what worked for you. All right, then I moved forward to explaining some screens, some brief screens. I explained the splash screen and the onboarding, then move forward to explaining the sign up and the sign in page, and also the home screen, before I went off in showing the final designs of most of the screen. So here I did not want to explain each and every screen I had, because that would just make the case study lengthier. So I just decided to explain some of the screens I had. So for me now, I would have loved to add, or I would have added the prototype of this design. So not just leaving them with the visual, so they'll be able to watch the prototype and be able to flow with this design. So if you are creating a case study newly, I would advise you add the prototype of your designs to your case study. So this will just give them a picture out, not just visual. This will just give them an idea of how this product works and how this your solution works, and the animation and everything you put into your solution. Also, I would have, if you're good with After Effects, or if you're good with animation, so instead of just showing these designs, so you could, if you're good with After Effects, you could have these splash screens having hey. So I would have these splash screens have an animation leading to each other. So from the splash screen, it leads to the onboarding before it leads to the sign up. Just basically just having the case study, adding more life to the case study. So after that, I decided to add my takeaway. So what did I gain from creating this project? So what was my take home? What solutions did I what was the knowledge I had put into, or I had gotten from my research, I had gotten from solving this problem? So I had decided to add a takeaway for that. So after that, I decided to have a thank you and also a let's connect section, just because I felt like if my hiring manager was to see this, or if a stakeholder or someone that wants to work with me may see this, they will need a way to reach out to me. They will need a way to see more of my work. So I decided to add an email, LinkedIn. So I won't advise a Behance because this is already on Behance. So I would advise you add, if you have an Instagram account where you put your design, I would advise you add your Instagram account instead of your Behance. So your email, your Instagram account, and your LinkedIn. That's because you want people to be able to reach out to you after they've seen your case study, or after they've seen your work. So like I said earlier, colors is very important. Having a header is very important, and you could play around the illustrations just to give a pictorial feel, just to give them a feel of your design. So do tell me what works for you in your case study. Do tell me what worked for you when creating a case study, what you like to see in a case study. Please do leave that on the comment section below.
So as you've seen, this was the process I used in creating my first case study. I hope this process helps you in creating your killer case study, and I hope this process helps you in building your portfolio. Thank you for watching this video to this point. Please do also hit this like button, do also hit the subscribe button, do also place a comment if this video was helpful to you, and please do also reach out to me on Instagram if you have anything bothering you, if you have any conversation you would want to share with me. So I would not leave here without telling you that Jesus loves you so much and he has your best interest at heart. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do have a wonderful day.